So Kapha folk, yeah, think maternal, think grandmotherly, think, yeah, grandmother around the hearth, lots of little grandkids running around, preparing food for everyone, totally unruffled and unfazed, just relaxed about the whole scene, yeah. In fact, reveling in it. Think Nigella Lawson when you think Kapha people. They're solid, they're stable, yeah. They're attractive, they're loving, they're generous, they're tolerant, yeah. They tend to be quite calm, compassionate people, and they've got that nurturing quality to their temperament. They also have a very good memory. Yeah? They don't necessarily grasp things quickly. A Pitta person will be sharp. They grasp stuff really quickly intellectually. Yeah? But a Kapha person, once they remember something, will never, ever, ever, ever forget. Yeah? So you have to be careful when you are, the way you behave around a Kapha person. In a relational sense.
Though, when they've known you all your life, because you can't remember, but they do.
They will remember. They will remember. Yeah. They've got good stamina, good fertility. Again, Kapha, is all about that stabilising and tissue development. Yeah. So we're going to have plenty of solid tissue development, which means good, strong ojas. Yeah. Good, strong reproductive tissue. So their fertility is generally good. They tend to be very sensual people as well. Yeah. So they've got a reasonably strong sexual appetite. Pitta people like to think that they're good lovers, but they're not really. They're all passion and no longevity. Whereas Kapha people, they're better at it. They're much more sensual. They've got the stability to be able to taste themselves the way they need to. Yeah. They tend. Depends on who you're asking. That's right. Pitta people with another Pitta partner, if it's flash and bang and it's over, it's all passionate and short-lived, both of them will probably be very happy. So, Kapha people, they strongly feel the cold. Yeah. Vata people also feel the cold, but they feel any kind of temperature variation and change. Yeah. Whereas Kapha people don't like the cold. It goes into their bones, it slows them down, it's not a good thing. They tend to have a very well-developed body, as we talked about, but that can also give them a bit of a tendency for weight gain. They have broad chest, so like a strong musculature and bone structure. Their skin tends to be thick but soft. And they've also got a fairly bright, fair complexion. Yeah? They've got a lovely, soft, sort of milky skin usually. Their hair tends to be,
Can I just ask about temperature? So Kapha is increased with cold and wet conditions, whereas Vata is increased with cold and dry conditions.
Absolutely. So Kapha, cold and damp, because of the heaviness that's there, and Vata, cold and dry. So high altitude places where it just snows and there's no moisture around is no good for Vata folk, at all. Whereas a swampy, sort of damp, cool region, for example, around sort of estuarine type wetlandy areas in England, like the south of England, not a great place for Kapha people. They tend to be very asthma-y and chesty and mucousy, and it's no good for their lungs. They end up with, pleurisy and bronchitis and tuberculosis and stuff like that. They tend to have, because their bones are strong, they also tend to have thick, lustrous, oily hair. Their nails are very hard and thick and tend to be more whitish in colour. They've got big, attractive eyes as well. And they tend to have a fairly, when it comes to their metabolism and their appetite, it tends to be steady. So they never tend to have a massively excessive appetite, not like a Pitta person. And it's not scatty and all over the place, it's just regularly, on time, it's meal time, time to eat, do the thing, eat in moderation. Unless there's emotional stuff going on which makes them tend to overeat. But we can talk about that when we talk about imbalances. Remember, what we're talking about here, all of the things we're talking about here, is what is common for someone with that constitutional type in a balanced state. This is in a balanced state we're talking about. Their digestion tends to be a little bit sluggish and slow. perspiration's moderate, and they tend to have a tendency to sleep a lot longer. Yeah? They sleep very deeply and they sleep for a long time. This is not always good for them because it can cause the kapha to become imbalanced. Yeah? So day sleep for a kapha person is not a good idea. Day sleep for a vata person, on the other hand, is reasonably recommended. Yeah? To have a bit of a rest in the afternoon, even if not asleep. People with a kapha constitution and especially a kapha imbalance should not sleep during the day because it's seen as being one of the causes for things like diabetes. Yeah.